still going, but that's okay. We haven't started yet, technically.
Sure.
I'm just more interested. We haven't honestly, it's more of a
what you deserve from a standpoint of like, it's unfair that we said, oh, this will be fun, we'll start doing this, I'm all about it. We do it, and then I literally couldn't bring myself to do it, and the reason is because I can't handle that, like, you go and get a coffee at Starbucks and somehow the barista has to give you her views on the Trump administration, Joe Biden, and COVID. And I could do one of two things. I could like do a Timothy McVeigh and blow up a building with children in it, or you can, kill yourself like a Chris Benoit, where you murder your family and in a brutal murder suicide. Or the third option is you can become like a mollusk, like that of a clam or an oyster, where you sit and you become unobservant to almost everything and anything that goes on, and you just go through life waiting to die. So I know you and I talked about what the name of this podcast
wait. So if I understand what you're saying, you're essentially saying that because of these things that you're feeling in the world and how insane the world is, it almost feels insignificant to get together and do a podcast.
Not at all. That's not it. It's hypocritical on my part personally, although I enjoy sitting here with you and having fun and having a podcast.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is I want anyone and everybody who gives me their opinion on anything to choke and die a slow death, because I'm so fucking tired of people who you watch a Rachel Maddow episode and read like a tweet somewhere, and then you think you have the right to give me like a lesson on like my I just don't. So and on the other side, the QAnon people, my point is I can't fucking handle any of it. So I decided to go into my shell and lay on my couch and essentially wait for death. Like my friend called me the other day and was like, "You having fun?" Like whatever we did for New Year's or something. I said, "It's something to do till we die," and that's everything in life. There's nothing's fun, nothing's bad. It's just all something to do till we die.
Yeah.
So, if I had to name, if you told me, Christian, name this podcast today, I would say it's something to do till you die. And that's not a good name. I'm also not sitting here saying, all right, back to my crux is it's hard for me to have a podcast where I'm talking to hypothetically who knows how many people and telling them anything, because I can't be observant. And not only do I not want to hear what I have to say, I don't want to hear what anybody has to say. So based on that, I believe the one thing you have to have in a podcast or conversation or to be a human being is in a point of view or some sort of observant quality. And I've lost all mine.
I think what you just said is very observant. I think you're saying that you feel like a hypocrite, though, because you hate people. Whenever someone gives an opinion, you want to murder them. So why would you get up here and give your opinion? And that makes you feel like a hypocrite?
Murder them sounds as if I'm righteous. My point is I just don't understand why do you give a shit. Like, I don't understand why someone that I went to high school with 10 years ago feels the need to tell me, like, that there's children in the Capitol building. Like, and I know these people. They're fucking stupid. They didn't graduate. They got, like, GEDs for BOCES after we graduated. And they're, like, reaching out to me and saying, like, hey, just so you know, like 9/11's not real, and I get it. Like, I'm not. Once again, I'm not even saying that some of these things couldn't be real or whatever. But my point is I just don't give a fuck.
Okay.
And it's crazy. It's crazy to feel like everyone's just got to give their point of view. Like everyone's an expert in everything. Like in life, how many things do you think you can honestly expertise? Like I think you can master probably
2, 3.
Yeah. Like I watched a Tiger Woods documentary. Did you see that?
No.
Waste of time. Don't. And once again, it's something they do till you die.
Do they show anything about all the girlfriends that he had?
Well, I don't like any time they do a documentary on someone and the person doesn't consent to it.
He didn't consent to it?
No, because then it's just like, oh, this guy sucks and he fucked a lot of women. Like, we get it.
Yeah.
That's not. No one watches Tiger Woods to play golf to be like, you know what, I could see him dating my daughter. That's not what you watch.
No one watches that documentary and wants to only know about his golf. It's like we've seen the golf. I want to know what happened when Elon put a is that her name? Elon? Put a pitching wedge through the back of his Suburban. That's what I want to know. I want to know the real story.
He fucked literally half the Eastern Seaboard.
Yeah.
And then all of Las Vegas. And she tried to kill him. And I get it, whatever.
I mean, she's incredibly rich.
Is like that is someone, and there's these people in life who like are unbelievably talented at mastering something, and they're great. the point is, there's not that many things you become that great at and that knowledgeable about. So like my thing is, I know almost nothing. And that's the other thing. I used to think I was a kindness. I'm a fucking moron. I don't know anything about anything, and I am not qualified to talk to you about almost anything. Mm-hmm. You know what I can talk to you about? Like,
I think you don't give yourself enough credit.
I appreciate that, and I like that this is just going to become a podcast of like uplifting, like it's, me talking me off the ledge.
It's just going to be me reaffirming you.
Me pouring gasoline on myself and lighting myself. It's a Bud R. Dwyer podcast where I shoot myself in the head.
See, honestly, I didn't even understand that reference. So you are more intelligent than I am.
It's certainly not intelligence. It's hours of wasted time. He was a congressman or a senator.
What's his name?
Bud R. Dwyer.
Okay.
He pulls a gun out in the middle of a press conference and shoots himself in the head.
Oh, I think when did that happen?
Long before we were born, I would assume.
Is the dog in here? Oh my God, he's got a squeaky toy. Here we go. You can hear the clacking of the nails on the floor and the squeaking. So,
that's his version.
Who cares?
Something to do till he dies. What do you want him to do? He's having a better time than I've ever had in my life.
Can you take the toy from him and give him a different toy?
Live your life like a dog.
Live your life like a dog. That makes sense.
Look up. Oh.
He's just running around now.
Angry.
Good content where you just hear the clacking of the nails and, at least the mics are picking it up. We know that they're good quality.
But it's better than I'm just heading down a rampage where I start.
We technically, to be honest, we haven't even started.
Great.
We never gave an introduction. We never did that. So we could just start it and then,
the first.
But hey, that's how it's going to go.
First Long Island ISIS fundamentalist podcast.
Yeah, we could just do introductions before because I kind of like just starting it.
Feeling free. It feels nice.
Because technically, honestly, by us saying we haven't started, there's no pressure to start.
No.
So it's just nice and easy.
It's banter.
Yeah.
It's good, clean fun.
Exactly. How was your week?
Oh, it was awful.
Yeah?
It wasn't bad. You know what? It was what it was.
Okay.
How about you?
It was good. It was nice. I was in the city. I went to a couple
It's a great place to be.
Restaurants. It's not.
Yeah.
It's what people are saying that the city is coming back alive. It's not. You know what? I go out to bars.
Who said that?
I don't. People.
Okay.
Cuomo.
Yeah.
Did you see that? Cuomo was
we gotta open it up.
We gotta open it up, baby. Mm-hmm. But we could have opened it up. It was him. He's got an election to win.
God bless him. So you were in the city.
So I'm in the city, and it's what I'm sorry. I want to keep businesses going. I want to keep them alive, but I have a hard time in January sitting on a sidewalk with a heater and getting a drink when it's 35 degrees out. It's just not my idea of fun.
Yeah, no, it's something to do till you die.
I also discovered that I think I have this thing going on. It happened well, not a thing, but my big toe on my right foot. This is incredibly boring.
Gout?
But my big toe on my right foot, after an hour and a half of being outside, gets super cold and it gets numb. None of my other toes do.
There could be many different issues. It could be a shoe issue. It could be
I think it might be a shoe issue.
It could also be a blood flow issue, and you could have gout.
Do you think it might be gout? I don't drink. I don't eat a lot of fiber. I don't eat fiber at all.
Can I tell you my favorite? The only good thing going on in Manhattan right now?
Yeah, tell me.
There's this homeless guy every day when I get off the train. I fucking love him.
Do you take the subway to work or do you take the train?
Never. I'm trying to be. I don't know if I'll ever go on a subway again.
The subway's getting right back into that 80s, 90s, real violent New York, Warrior style.
Really?
It's the vagrants have taken it over.
If you ever feel emasculated about the size of your dick, hang out for more than 30 minutes on a subway. There's a homeless guy who's he's got nothing, but look at him. I know he's bad shit. He shit his pants twice since we've been on this thing, but look at that cock. God bless him. Then you turn to the guy next to you. Not you and me, right?
You fist bump and you go about your day. You go to Subway and get a Starbucks and wait to die.
When I get off this, when I get into Penn, I may or may not tempt myself every morning by walking by Krispy Kreme, and it's a small victory for me. Don't get it. I feel like I worked out. I didn't do anything, but I just am look at me, I'm better than these people.
You just smell.
It's 7 in the morning and I didn't get myself a donut. Fucking look how great I am. But there's this guy, right?
Yeah, tell me about him.
He's fucking Okay, the amazing thing too about this is homeless people, no matter what, pandemic or I don't know, the same homeless people will never die. I've seen the same homeless person every day, no matter the weather, no matter literally an earth-shattering pandemic that's ruined everything you can imagine about New York, except the homeless population continues to do everything that they're doing wonderfully. But this homeless guy, I don't know how he does it every morning, but he's always got 12 donuts, 12 Krispy Kreme donuts.
Okay.
Every fucking morning.
Interesting. All glazed?
Nope, there's a variety, which is, I don't know who's buying them for him, but what lunatics. Like, you know what he needs? I don't think he wants the traditional. I think he wants a raspberry frill today.
What's crazier, that Krispy Kreme guy or the guy who's at Taco Bell breakfast?
Taco Bell breakfast guy's a fucking lunatic of a guy, too. Hey, fuck him. But
Tell me about that guy. Is that in...
Well, we'll talk. That guy's a very unique individual. The guy who gets Taco Bell breakfast is someone who is certainly going at least through a divorce, but can't afford his car payment. He's got like 3 days left on Earth, and he's just figuring out which way to kill himself. So he doesn't think he deserves like an IHOP or bacon, egg, and cheese. So he sits on the he sits at the Taco Bell drive-thru, and he's like, "Fuck, I don't think I have the stomach to put a gun in my mouth, and I don't think I have the balls to. I'm not really a drug guy, so I can't swallow that many pills. But I don't know. Maybe I burn the whole house." And then he's trying to figure out ways, and he Googles the easiest way to kill yourself. This is a good.
No, please keep going.
But all right. I don't want to. I as much as I'd love to circle back to this, and
the Krispy Kreme guy.
I don't want to forget about my Krispy Kreme guy.
No, circle back.
I have a feeling it's from a family.
I love a good circle back. Give me a circle back.
What I'm obsessed with about him is every day I see him with his 12-pack of donuts, but never once have I seen him with his drink. Can you imagine what it would be like to be so hungry that you can't refuse food, but no one gives you a goddamn water? Or I don't even like milk. I'm a grown man. But not even a milk to chase down this disgusting 12-pack of just donuts.
Can you imagine how dry your mouth is after eating 12 donuts worth of sugar?
Oh, God.
12 donuts worth of sugar. Can you imagine how dry and to do that without any liquid to wash it down?
Well, I'll tell you why it's fucked up. Because I'm so narcissistic, I look at him as sort of like a hero. Because he's not fat. And I'm always like, wait a second, if he can do this, maybe I can have that donut.
It's probably 2,000 calories, but it's the only thing he eats all day.
Well, and his body's literally rotting from the inside out. So he's fine. It's all.
No. That's what the alcohol will cures the rot.
No, that guy's way past. There's some part of homelessness where you stop doing drugs and drinking. And you're just fucking crazy, which is equivalent to being fucked up all the time. Like, that's a fun level of being homeless, where you don't have to do drugs and drink anymore. Where you're just like, I'm a schizophrenic. Essentially, that's what people who drink and do a lot of drugs are trying to get to. Schizophrenia.
That calm.
This is the worst. Like, if you are, I mean this, I don't know who's listening. I'm sure that's the 7 people who we know who are doing a favor to us listening to this. Don't, just go home and have fun.
I think you give yourself a lot less credit than,
Do you want to know another treat now that I'm thinking about donuts? You want to know something else that's very important?
Yeah.
I don't ever, because I fluctuate weight so much, and I identify as a fat guy.
Me too.
And I do that mainly because I see it in my fiance's eyes, no matter how much weight I lose. When I see her look at me, I know that I'm a fat guy.
Yeah. It's everybody's perception of you.
She's just as disgusted by it. Yeah. So, we'll swim, and I envision myself as like a James Bond character. Like
you know what James Bond doesn't do when he gets out of the water is like jiggle. That's the problem.
Well, I never get straight up. Like I somehow ride in with the wave and then like army crawl. I'm much more like a D-Day. Like I do some.
There's some flopping on the back, flopping on the stomach, and you just stand up.
Everyone's always like, "Is he hurt?
Is he hurt?"
But I won't ever.
Did he tear a hammy?
Yeah. There's always a lifeguard somewhere when I get out of the water.
Yeah.
But I never once will buy myself something. Like if I'm going to get food, like if I was to go get donuts, or if I was to go get.
What kind do you have there? Do you want the lime?
Would you like?
I don't.
You don't like lime. I have no problem with that.
It's the only one that I don't like of the White Claws, so I appreciate it.
Well, it tastes like cancer. So, whatever flavor cancer you prefer. I actually think I have some more high noons in the car.
Do you? And you know what I weirdly...
Peter Rubens and I drank it. Well, no, we didn't. We didn't drink that many because...
You know what? You know what is a skinny guy, a fat guy trying to get skinny move that causes cancer?
Sweatshirts in August.
Oh, keep going. Keep guessing.
That causes cancer.
I've gotten real into diet soda the last.
No, that's not a fat guy trying to get skinny move. That's like just a weird.
Are you not a diet soda guy?
No.
Oh, dude, I've been pounding diet soda. It's 0 calories, man.
I get that.
Yeah.
You never once can admit that you support soda in front of anybody.
Oh, they'll take you to the gallows.
If you ask me if I ever enjoyed a soda, I would say to you no. No, sir. Ginger ale if I'm really hungover. And the truth is, if I'm alone,
or sick,
I'd love a cola with you. But the reality is, I don't have that liberty because I have a muffin top.
I've been psychotic about it. I'll have like a Diet Coke, caffeine-free Coca-Cola over ice in a glass. I'll drink 3 of those a night. It's a problem. I need to get away from it.
Those are so disgusting too.
There are
dryness to that.
It's like
the only thing that would make my Krispy Kreme guy's day worse is giving a Diet Coke.
Because
that's drier than a water. Yeah. That's the driest. It's so dry, your mouth burns after.
The other day, like a week ago, I was hungover and woke up at I fell asleep on the couch and woke up at 3 a.m. and I drank a can of Diet Coke before I went to bed. It was hydrating. I woke up an hour later, very thirsty.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I know.
But you like it? You enjoy it?
I really love it because it's like a sweet treat.
It's not sweet.
It is sweet if you think about it because it tastes like. Yeah, it's sodium. It's all the sodium in it. But I don't think it's aspartame. I think it's just great. I really like it. And it's 0 calories, so it's like, you know what? I can stay on my diet, or I can do 250 calories for a can of soda. I would never do that.
A gift right now.
Yeah, please.
I don't understand why you haven't figured this out already. But next time you're craving a soda, go to a 7-Eleven. You go wherever. Where do you get your drinks? You go to the supermarket?
I get the supermarket
Supermarket's
cans.
the hardest one.
Yeah.
But you can still the supermarket's really hard.
Okay.
It'd be difficult. I recommend going to 7-Eleven. What you do is when you get to the counter, and although Coke is a well-known thing, you pull your phone out and you look as if you were receiving a text and you weren't getting this for yourself. You were sent to get this by someone else. And you go, is this what she wanted?
That's what I do when I order a fancy drink at Starbucks.
Oh, see, you're doing this all wrong. Okay.
No, I do that all
Anytime I order something shitty, like if I was to go to McDonald's with you right now, if you saw me at McDonald's, you would assume I've never eaten a carb in my life. You'd be confused because look at me, right? But my point is that I'd sit there and I'd be like, can I have I'm sorry. And I hate when people hold up lines, but so I'm good about it. I'm quick, but I'm like, I'm sorry. And I pull it up and I'm like, I think she wants a number 11, extra large. And, does that come with how many nuggets? Oh, she wants extra nuggets. And then I never am getting it for myself. And then I go in my car. I never would eat this in my home. I would never eat this around anybody. I pull into an abandoned parking lot, somewhere where probably someone's overdosed on drugs or like at least been murdered. And I eat it all, and then I throw it out. I sometimes will bring another garbage bag because I don't even want people to see me throwing that out. I throw it out in another bag.
Have you ever met someone who will keep fast food bags in their car? That is someone who also keeps bodies in their basement, I think.
Or they're homeless.
If they're homeless, they have a car that they're keeping their fast food bags in?
That's a very good thing about it. It's a good point. But you meet a lot of homeless people who like to...
No, I'm talking about a stable person with a job.
I've never met someone who
will have just garbage, has a garbage car. They keep garbage
You've
in
met
their
people
car.
like that?
Oh, yeah. It's always... I've lived with most of my old roommates have done that, where they just have garbage in their car. You're like, what are you doing?
I have garbage in my car.
This is you're going to pick someone up, and this is a representation of your life.
Well, because once again, it's something to do.
What does your bedroom look like, or your bathroom? If
are
this is
clean? You're a clean person?
I'm clean to a point until I'm
you give up.
Until Simon's just running around the house. I mean, squeaky toy, click clacking the nails, whatever. I am clean to a point that I'm not clean, and then I'm just I'll clean everything, and then I'll just let it go for a month, and then I'll be like, oh, I need to really clean the bathroom again, or I need to clean my sheets, and it's something to do before you die, you know?
Exactly.
God forbid I died and someone was like, oh my God, have these sheets not been washed in 6 months? I would hate that.
I think if I was single, I would very rarely clean my sheets. I think I would lie constantly about that. What I was thinking, like, did the bare minimum for people not to think that I was grotesque. But I would lie to them and say that I clean my sheets every week, stuff like that. Life as a single man is all about lying to people to make them think that you're doing much better than you are.
Eating fast food by yourself.
I agree.
Like getting a prostitute.
Have you ever done this? Have you ever sat down by yourself in a fast food restaurant and ate in the restaurant?
Legitimately, I've never even contemplated it.
That's a real dark thing. Is like, you not only do you not just go to the drive-thru, but you walk into a McDonald's, you order your meal, and then they say, "Do you want to take this to go, or do you want to sit here where everybody can watch what you're doing?" And you're like, you know what?
Sit in that dining room of misery.
I want to sit here.
Of failure.
And then even worse, you're like, "Oh wait, do you guys have a place here where kids are playing in the ball pit?" Yeah, no, I'll sit down and watch.
I was gonna kill myself in my garage, but I don't have one. So I also don't have a backyard to play in. So do you by chance have something so my kid can fucking
Excuse me, what?
Get hepatitis C from your ball pit?
Now, while I wait for my 2 McDoubles with McChicken sauce, which is just mayonnaise, what is your policy on adults in the play place? Do I have to take my shoes off? Can I only go in when there is no children in there?
What is the policy? Fast foods. Like, is there something you would need?
You know, No, I don't eat fast food a lot. I will say that.
Long John Silver's?
Yeah, I would eat Long John Silver's. Yeah, I've eaten Long John Silver's.
I've never once.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad.
But once again, I could be lying to you. My point is that this is what you all should be doing. You should never once admit to the awful things you've done.
I think you should. I think it's important to be honest.
Act like the Bushes. I'm kidding. I don't care. And yet no one should. No one should tell you anything about life.
I think it's important. Like, you know what? For me, if I'm feeling down, maybe I'll go get breakfast at Taco Bell. I don't know. I'll get a quesadilla. It's not even on the breakfast menu. And I'm like, make it for me. Because I woke up at noon and that's what I want.
And God bless you for being, once again, this isn't
I've never had Taco Bell breakfast, but I wouldn't be opposed to it if you had a down morning.
Pizza Hut breakfast?
Pizza Hut for breakfast, I'm not totally opposed to that either. You know, you wake up a little hungover, you got some Pizza Hut in the fridge from the night before, you heat it up in the oven, it's 9 a.m., put a pepperoni slice down, maybe a couple olives sprinkled on top, you go to work.
What are you doing at work after you do that? There's nothing you can potentially accomplish. Like, no one, you should, that's
the only type of person that's eating a slice of pepperoni and olive pizza and then going to work is someone who's going to actually sell pepperoni and olive pizza at Domino's or Pizza Hut.
I envision like a pet exterminator, like someone who like traps raccoons. That seems like a fair meal, like a hearty, good meal for someone who's about to go out.
They heat it up and then
be attacked by a giant rodent.
They heat it up and eat it in their car before they go.
Well, they eat it cold. They don't tell you. You're gonna get rabies almost every day. Who gives a fuck if you know?
Before you exterminate termites from an attic.
Yeah, you 100%.
Well, what do you think what is the best ultimate? If you had to make, this is a good one. If you had to make the ultimate fast food last meal, no limitations, what would it be? It can only be fast food, but what would that meal be?
So you're telling me that I'm like, what is the situation where I'm like going to the chair?
Yeah, or just like your ultimate cheat.
Ohio, because the only people who could be in this scenario would be people from Ohio because they don't have any taste. Let's attack. If there's one thing this podcast should be known for, is we hate the state of Ohio.
I'm okay with that.
I like that idea.
I do like Cleveland. I like Cleveland, but
we're all LeBron guys. We're not here to attack him.
Yeah,
that would suck.
Love LeBron. Big time LeBron.
Cease and desist from him and just end this thing. But yeah, fuck the rest of Cleveland. Fuck Canton. Fuck.
Can you check this? Am I in the frame? It doesn't.
It's just me.
Am I not in the frame?
No, you were in the frame, yeah.
Just like we've literally done 30 minutes and it's just on. It's just a focus in on you the entire time. You don't have to like change it or anything, but were we just both in? That's it.
Now you were a little, like your shoulder was a little cut off. Now you're good.
Thank you for the immense amount of feedback. It was a very simple question.
That's your good shoulder, though. He's got a good point.
If you were on the chair, why did you get to the chair? Self-reflection. What was it that you did?
So, yeah, I'm interested in that.
What's that?
Do you think you'd be able to survive prison? That's my main question.
I've always known that. The problem, okay, I'm someone who's been to a lot of fistfights in my life too.
Yeah.
But I'm not tough, which really sucks. If you want a predicament of places you don't want to be, you don't want to be someone who like has gotten to a lot of arguments and is kind of hot-headed and has a lot of problems with a lot of people. But and I'm not like, I wouldn't say I was particularly afraid to get into a fist fight, but the problem was I have no ability to really fight you. Like I'm going to try to punch you in the face.
Every time I get into an almost altercation, I have a good ability to just like talk my way out of it, or like make a joke about it, where I'm like, haha. But every time that happens,
you're not wrong. Like you're not a guy who's like also causing bar fights.
Yeah.
Like I've been
in college. I was that.
The majority of the fights that I've been in, I was 100% wrong.
Yeah. Can you tell me about one of those?
It's not there.
I mean, one time I remember.
I'll tell you this: the worst fight.
How many fights have you been in?
I'm not gonna act like I'm in a biker gang, but like there was a time in my life where I thought the only two things you can do in life is like go to bars
and fight people
and meet women. It was like a very archaic, like a primal.
That's a college attitude.
Yes,
meet women or fight.
Well, that young age,
it's crazy.
I don't think women understand that. It's not. It's a chemical imbalance. I only have my primal instinct.
There's something about
have the ability to speak or rationally understand things. I have to either get into a fist fight or do drugs was option C and blackout, which was sometimes he combined all three, which was a fascinating combination of
things. Once you hit like 25, you're like, oh, I could just have a drink and like just enjoy myself.
I'm working on it. I was here last weekend. Salud.
You could just have like a couple drinks and get like drunk and have a nice time.
I've been literally waiting to do that. Like my fiance certainly does that. A lot of our friends do that. But then at the end of it, I'm like, what do you guys think about? Do you really believe that JFK was killed? Was it a one-man job? And I was sitting there like everyone's like, Christian, just getting the check.
Do you know what? You know what's messed up?
Like, but wait a second, 9/11. Should we be in the Middle East? And they're like, Christian, it's my kid's baptism. Christian, can you please leave?
Why are you so drunk at noon on a Sunday? What are you doing?
Why do you have Taco Bell breakfast? It's in your car.
Yeah, I'm convinced that all these conspiracies that we know about are all true. But the thing is,
we're a Q podcast now. Yes, please.
The thing is that they are released so like that's why the CIA and the FBI declassify things so much later, because when something gets declassified like 30 to 40 years later, nobody cares. Did you see this new like report, this new podcast that came out talking about how like it's like confirmed that when Biggie was killed, it was like an LAPD cover up and this crazy stuff.
Like,
and
I love that you just went from like aliens, fucking, we just talked.
Dude, this was
like
25, 20, like legit.
He wasn't killed the way we thought he was.
Legit, 30 years ago.
We would have got 5 more albums of that fat motherfucker.
Dude, I mean, then he would have been.
Taco Bell breakfast, he would have been dead as fuck anyway.
What's that saying? You die a hero, you live long enough to become a villain. Dude, it's either you die as Biggie and Tupac, or you live to be in like a candy cane jumpsuit and dancing with Katy Perry as Snoop Dogg. Sure. Like that's what happens,
But I don't think it's right to attack Snoop Dogg.
It is fine. He's had a great career, but like can you imagine?
Like Janis Joplin, there's a lot.
You're right. Could you picture Biggie in like a candy cane jumpsuit dancing with Katy Perry? Or like
he was so rude, like always like fuck, I don't want to go to heaven.
So they
want blowjobs. All right,
it's like that's aggressive.
That's crazy, dude.
Do you not want to be happy?
I remember being like in 8th grade, being on like the back of the school bus with my iPod that weighed fucking 45 pounds, and like be like, he's right. Fuck.
That shows that right there shows our age difference in that like I'd be in middle school with like a CD player.
Well, I still had that. Like, it's not like with that fucking 3 years. I had that too.
Is that it?
Talking about the
3 years.
I'm born in 91.
Oh yeah, that's true. Oh, 2 years then.
Oh, here we are.
Let's go. What a treat. It's
a math podcast now.
It is. But so that's what I was saying is that like this podcast literally came out and they're talking about how like it's confirmed now, like this FBI agent has been like, yeah, the LAPD covered up this murder. They were responsible for the murder of Biggie. And like this came out 30 years later and nobody is talking about it at all. Like, isn't that crazy? That like this is something that even like 10 years ago people were obsessed with, and now it's such information overload that nobody has like talked about it. It's like almost like nobody cares. That should be like the biggest story of but it's insane, right?
You're right to an extent.
Same aliens. When literally the government in the early COVID was like, hey, UFOs exist and we don't know what they are, and everyone's like, what is that? Tiger King? What is that? Let's watch that.
The New York Times had it on the cover.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Now,
that was a story.
Circling back, I agree with
Joe Biden redecorating the Oval Office was a bigger story than crazy. Aliens exist.
Both those stories are crazy, and there's people who are passionate about it. I understand it. But my only point is the next time I see my cousin that I haven't seen in 15 years, and he wants to give me 55 minutes about how the aliens have been mining for gold. What are they? The Ayanani? What is that?
Why would they want gold?
There's this whole thing that it's a chemical. I don't even want to tell you.
I want to know.
I don't care.
I want to know.
But my point is the Ayanaki. And they need it, and it's a chemical. It's a element that they need to survive. The point is that I have no right to portray these things onto you. The same way that whoever this fucking podcast asshole is telling you about the fucking LAPD thing. And that doesn't mean that they're not right. That doesn't mean that because they probably are right. You're 100% correct.
Yeah.
The problem is it's all fucked up. So what you should do is hug your family and get along, and then fuck off. Don't post it on Facebook.
Yeah.
Don't make a podcast about it. This is a podcast about literally just right. What you just brought up is a great fucking point, but who gives a fuck? Because at the end of the day, the government's fucked up. Your life's fucked up. You can't go outside. Fucking,
just waiting to die.
I pissed sitting down last night. Like, we all have fucking thing going on in our life that I don't even know what the fuck you want to do.
Why did you piss sitting down?
I do it from time to time.
Okay. Hey, listen, I'm not against it. I didn't know if it was a pleasure thing or just like I'm tired thing.
I don't get off to it. It's something that sometimes I don't feel like turning the light on, and I don't,
Sometimes I want to sit down and like look at my phone for 5 minutes.
Oh,
I don't have to poop, but I'll just sit down,
You're 100% in the right to do
that. Yeah. No, I agree. It was going to restart my computer. That's why I had to pause right there.
Email.
I was like, hang on, let me get on this. Yeah. Okay. Well,
there's actually a thing in quarantine where there's a large percentage of it was like in Japan or something where Japanese guys admitted to peeing sitting down more.
They took a survey.
Nobody can hear anything that you just said right there.
But that's important.
But thank you.
Like
you said that Japanese people, men, were peeing sitting down during quarantine.
Yeah.
I don't know what.
They admitted to it.
They admitted to it.
But that's the kind of information. Those are the things I think.
What kind of world do we live in that more men would admit to peeing sitting down than they would for voting for Trump? What kind of world is that when you can't express your freedom of speech?
You just keep going back to it. Oh, fine. So
in China, it's a real thing. Has coronavirus pandemic changed men's urine?
You can admit that you want to pee sitting down and being comfortable, but you can't admit that you voted for Daddy Trump.
I just don't know. This is what I gotta go back on my pedestal. I don't understand any of it. Okay, fuck the. Obviously, I've been in a long-waged war with a lot of. Specifically white progressive males who have the audacity to tell me how privileged my life has been, which it's obviously fuck. Who the fuck are you to ever tell? Leave me the fuck alone. I get that. I've beaten that dead horse to such a pulp in my everyday life that I have nothing to say. Now, from my conservative friends' points of view, when they tell me that their privacy is being invaded, you fucking had a MySpace where you fucking were changing your top friends every day, and you put everything on Facebook every day since then.
It's true.
So fuck you and your mother. The point is that just live your life and die. Who cares? You're never going to meet these fucking people. I think Nancy Pelosi seems like a real creepy bitch. She says a lot of stupid fucking things.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, I probably will never come into contact not only with her, but anyone who's ever even met her.
I have a pretty good story about.
Do you like that I just ramble? I'm like, by the end of what's this, episode 2? I'd like by episode
27.
Yeah, like I'm completely senile.
No
one knows. I'm just lost.
I have a story about a white progressive male.
Please.
Should I tease it for the next episode?
Because
we're almost at the end here.
People are ripping. That's a big teaser.
Should I tease it?
If you want to lose every follower that may listen to the next thing,
it involves
everyone's favorite. We're gonna get canceled by the one guy that you offended.
It involves the Me Too movement and the response from a white progressive male.
I think that's important. I think you should just give it to people now.
I mean, we're almost at the end.
Okay.
I mean, we could tease it for next week, or I could just say it.
Can I tell you whatever you want?
Do you have anything else that you want to? How do you feel? Do you want to say it, and we'll talk about it next week?
There's another thing. No, sure, I can tell you.
So I'll tease this story, and then you give a quick one.
Yeah.
So this involves a story about I was on a date with a young lady.
Oh my God.
And we went out to this restaurant, and we were having a conversation, private conversation, at this table. And
we just having dinner. Private sounds like we were about to like make out. What? This is very.
We were we were having drinks. We were having a conversation. And at some point, we started talking about like the Me Too movement and how.
Was this the first date?
Yeah.
What an interesting point. Okay.
Well, honestly, the reason it came up is because she's a huge fan of Louis.
Oh.
And she loves Louis. She loves Chappelle. And essentially, she said that she we started talking about.
You could jerk off on her if
No, we started talking about. I mean, that was implied, I thought, but we started talking about. She said how, and we essentially the crux of the conversation is that like Louis, what he did compared to like Harvey Weinstein and Kevin Spacey, it was like rape, and then like Louis was like a creepy. So, and there are so many people now who don't even know what Louis did. Like, they don't know what he was alleged to have done, but they just go, oh, he's a rapist, which is like slander and like not accurate at all. So we literally were just having this conversation about like how there's no gray area. People just, it's like, hey, you got lumped in with this thing.
And you're
like,
Bill Cosby.
You're like when Louis like literally never touched anybody. You can say what you want about him, but like we had this conversation 2 tables over. There's a couple, presumably based on their interactions, these 2 men who are both white, and they're having dinner. And we were at this restaurant for maybe 3 hours, 4 hours. This is first date.
Pre-COVID times, obviously, because that would be.
And we were in. I'll tell you this: we are in a COVID environment. However, it was outdoor eating.
Wow.
But it was in like a tent that pretty much was like we're indoor, which I don't understand the difference.
Sounds like you're having fun though.
We had a great time.
I haven't done in.
No, we had a wonderful time. But so we had this conversation that isn't like we're not like making light of it. But we're just having a conversation, essentially saying like no one can look at like context of anything. It's like if you are, there's a scale, obviously.
We just got canceled.
It would be like if we were like, hey.
It was all fun and games when I was saying to kill you. You're a loser if you tried to kill yourself, but you don't have a crime.
But honestly,
you're really toting lines by saying you should maybe be open-minded to having a conversation.
Yeah, I know. But it would be like if we were like, hey man, if you are accused of murder and you're accused of slapping someone in the face at a bar, those are treated the same way.
I'm gonna play the heel.
That's essentially what we said, is that these situations were treated the exact same way. So this is, and it came up, and an hour and 45. This was an early conversation.
Were you loud? This is a very important part of this.
We were a little bit loud.
Okay, so you're doing this. You were painting this as if we're gonna get to like you're whispering and just having a private conversation.
No. It wasn't loud, but we were one of 3 like parties in this not large space, but like in this space that could seat maybe 10 parties, 10 couples. Like we are one of 3 people in there. There's no one in there. So an hour and 45 minutes, I would say, later, it's like about like 10 o'clock. It's closing up. Everything closes at 10 in New York now. So these 2 guys get up. One of them walks out immediately. And the other one comes up to us, and he walks right over to the table, and he goes, which was weird also in like pandemic area, like just coming up to us, like was very like kind of off-putting. I was like, whoa. I like looked up, he's standing over us, kind of towering over us. I'm like, all right, what's going on?
Sort of a Me Too scenario.
Yeah, I felt it. I felt nervous. So he goes,
I like that you're somehow going to end up the heel in this episode.
No.
Really exciting.
So he goes, he literally doesn't say it to me. He goes to her. And he goes, excuse me. I just wanted to say that I overheard you were having a very loud conversation about the Me Too movement earlier. And I want to say, as someone who's experienced that and someone who has known many people who have gone through it, I want to say that the way you were discussing it, and he goes, I want to say the way you were discussing it was, insensitive. And he essentially implied, like, he was like, you were making jokes about it, which we weren't. We were just being like, it's a first date. We're being flirty. We're having fun. No one's saying anything that's inappropriate. So literally he says this. And this is like, so literally this white male comes in, just approaches us out of nowhere and starts lecturing this woman who I'm with about her views on the Me Too movement. My head almost exploded, literally. And I sat there because he didn't say it to me. So I was like, I'm just sitting here, and she was so cool, super like relaxed about it, super like chill. And she was like, actually, I don't think, she literally goes, we weren't making fun of it. We never said that. And he was like, yes, you were. You were making a joke about it, and it was super insensitive. And I was just watching, and she was like very relaxed, and he's like getting riled up. You can tell he's thought about this for the last hour and 45 minutes, And so I'm just sitting there, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to like wait for my like time to like throw my thing in. So he's getting riled up. He's getting like more like angry. He's getting more upset. And finally I was like, excuse me. Hey. If you're going to talk to us, can you put on a fucking mask?
Brilliant.
I mean, I thought at the moment, I go, that was maybe the perfect thing to say. Like,
You're 100% right. There's nothing else that you want.
The guy got so rattled. He literally was like, he like looked at me and was like, oh my God, of course I'll put on a mask. Of course. Like he was, I like literally feel like I outwoke him with that, like he thought he was going to go home and feel like such a hero for like literally being like,
no, he was white knighting.
Pieces of shit.
That's what that is. It's called white knighting. And
then he went home and he goes, I can't believe I'm a fucking idiot. Why would I not put on a mask? So he literally himself. Yeah. And then honestly, like it felt weird. This guy's like towering over both of us. So at some point, like I just like stood up and
well, you got to, this story's taking like
I wasn't gonna do anything, but I was honestly just uncomfortable with this like man just standing over our table.
There are only 3 tables, so like old Western, almost
like a standoff, like a real alpha standoff.
Let's just hold it down. I don't give a fuck if who's angry and how long
this is like a 40. This is like a 40-year-old like
you built the story
balding gay man. And it was just like, I only know that because the guys, we overheard some of their conversation, and the other guy asked the other guy asked this other man who confronted us, was like, oh, are you going to take some of that home for your husband? So like, I know, not that it matters, but it was just like,
it was this like, why were they out alone?
Okay, so that was another conversation we had. Do you think I would like to tease this topic for the next episode?
Nope, we're right here.
We had this conversation. Is like in the gay community, if you're married to a man and then like your husband is just out with other men, just like getting drinks.
Well, it seems like
that would be like.
I have some gay friends.
Do you think that would be weird?
Number one, it seems like
is that just accepted?
You get fucked a lot easier. The heterosexual world is very hard to have, especially as a fat guy or a guy in general who's expressing his opinions constantly and belligerent everybody with the boring point. But wait, before we move on to that, fine.
Yeah, no.
First off, I need to apologize because you built this beautiful story and I was mesmerized by it. And when I put it together, I felt like Sherlock Holmes. I stepped right on the middle. I'm like, wait, and then a white man yelled at a woman.
So yeah, literally. So no. Hey, listen, you gave people the spoiler early. I appreciate it.
And I know, but it's my fault. But my point is, I was so captivated. What a great story.
So that's what happened. So literally, at some point, like the waiter comes over. And he was like, I guess this guy's a local. Who knows? He comes here frequently. He's like not a local, but like a regular. And the guy's like, oh, he's just drunk. And that's when like right before that, I stood up and the guy was like, oh yeah. And he just like, he just like left. What?
This restaurant sounds like dangerous.
It was super nice. It was a wine bar. It was like a super fancy wine bar. But like, what an absurd, I would never even like impose myself into a conversation unless someone was unless they're like being like abusive or like offensive to the person that they're with.
Still no.
I would be like, hey man, what are you doing?
I've been there.
Or
I just say, please.
let's get an Uber.
No, I say, waiter, obviously your restaurant is a shithole. Can I have a free round of drinks and a dessert? Do you have a cheesecake of some sort?
But literally, what can you? Well, is that not absurd? Is that not an absurd thing that this white man literally was like, I need to lecture this woman about her views?
Even more so.
Like, what a crazy thing that this guy was like, I'm the hero. Like, he walked home in his mind, other than the mask thing, which I think
you won.
I think I won. I think we won that interaction.
That's all life.
Where he was like, I'm a piece of shit, you know?
No, he didn't even. No, he still thinks you're an asshole.
Yeah,
he knows that he lost that one.
Yeah, he lost it.
Them one day. And then he went to that same restaurant for the rest of the summer season.
I've been going every single night. I've been going every single night, getting one glass of wine, waiting for him to show up.
What the fuck is this? This is like crazy.
What an insane! Imagine if I was just going to the restaurant.
Everyone's fighting. Like, what a fucking crazy.
Just switchblades and rubber batons.
But so look, I'm someone who's bothered by everything that goes on every day.
Yeah.
So going to dinner with me is quite annoying because I'm annoyed by the waitstaff. I'm annoyed by the people who are treating the waitstaff badly. I'm annoyed by the menu. I'm annoyed by the lighting. I'm annoying, and I'm annoyed. So as I'm enjoying these meals, I'm constantly annoyed by the people next to me. Like, I hate. You know what drives me fucking insane? When couples sit on the same side of a table.
Oh man,
it drives me nuts. Or when couples are holding hands, like, you're that in love, you can't fucking eat your meal. You can't have two free hands. You can't use a fork and a knife like the rest of the free world. You have to hold one hand while you fucking eat your shit overpriced meal that we all fucking hate. My point. I hate all of it. I fucking despise it.
I agree.
That being said, like I said, if I saw a couple stabbing each other at the table, I don't think I would get involved.
Be like, excuse me, waiter, can we get a round of the burrata because of the inconvenience we've had to watch this?
This is insane. There's blood. Yeah. That woman's blood from her cut off ear. Her ear's in my soup.
Excuse me.
Would you mind sending over just like a gelato of some sort? Do you have a margarita?
This man's blood got on our sourdough. Can you please send over a more expensive type of wine? We'd appreciate it.
But you don't ever, and you never send food back either. That's the other thing. No matter how much you eat it, you just spend time bitching about it.
You just eat it and complain about it for the next week.
So the fact that it doesn't matter what you said. You guys should have been saying, something, I really think we should probably, Palestine's got a lot of points. Or they could have been saying something.
Insane.
They should have been saying something like, Israel, I think Israel should take over the world. If you heard something like that, like the Mossad should probably, they should take out the whole Middle East. It should be Israel all over. I wouldn't. You don't have the right to get up and then start yelling at people. Just mind your own fucking business.
Also, can I tell you, like, what do you think that guy is like to hang out with?
What
a fucking loser!
But that guy,
right?
That guy used to be.
Oh
my
God!
That guy used to be 1 in 1,000. That guy
is everywhere
right now.
It's everywhere.
That guy is the guy who's the biggest fucking loser in his school.
Like, what is that? Like, what is he like to hang out?
Just anything. But he's probably good at one task, which he probably found as a job because he had so much time to sit in his room. And he didn't even masturbate to anything because there wasn't even porn catered to him. So he sat there and just focused on how can I get back at the people who have wronged me forever. All those people are on a yacht somewhere in southern Greece. So now what he's done is he decided he's going to take out his menial success on everybody. And for whatever reason, it was you and your first date, but you somehow got back at it. This isn't crazy. I'm very worried about this restaurant. I'm going to call the CDC on them.
It was an insane experience to the point that I'm thinking about it like a week later.
Wait, you know what's also wild? How long ago was this?
It was like 5 days ago.
So is this girl, will there be a second date?
I hope so. Yeah, I think so. I think there will be.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Where are you going to go now?
Because I was such a hero.
Like a Hell's Angels bar.
I was such a hero with my mask line. Mask up.
Well, you have to find the Hell's Angel bar.
Yeah, that's fair. I know.
I
don't know.
Where do you go from here?
I don't know.
You're a tough guy. You've pigeonholed yourself into a very tough role.
I know. We got to do throwing stars, but ourselves as the targets.
My fiance's gotten so used to just, no matter where we are, I'll complain. Then it's easy for me. Everywhere we go, it's just this, Here we are.
Yeah. How do you feel? Do you feel good about this?
No,
I feel good about it.
Like,
Do you want to wrap it up?
Yeah.
I'm glad we didn't tease that first one, that story. I'm glad we just did it.
What story? Oh, yeah. No, it was very important you got that off your chest.
Do you have anything that you want to plug?
Because it's a borderline misdemeanor what you did. You threatened this person with a knife at one point. Essentially, you like winked at me when I said that.
Oh, God.
I do have to plug our new sponsor.
Oh, yeah.
If big news, everyone.
Big Gold yeah, of course. Who is it?
Big Gold.
Yeah.
7-Eleven. Between the hours of 6:30 in the morning and 10 a.m., they're running a half-off special if you get the largest Big Gold. So if you want to be the lowest dreg of life, but you're not cool enough to do drugs, and you're not tough enough to join some fucking radical cult like the people in Portland or the fucking lunatics who stormed the Capitol, like if you don't want to burn down Fifth Avenue and break down Macy's, but you still want people to think of you as an absolute sociopath and someone that can't be trusted, go get yourself a Mountain Dew from 7-Eleven at 7:30 in the morning and watch. Like the line will part like Moses in the Red Sea, and you can just get out there. And they're giving you a great deal because they know how fucking crazy you all are. So enjoy that. Anything else we have to plug?
No, just at Dylan Krasinski on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok. I can't believe I just plugged that, and YouTube. And you can find this, and if you wherever, subscribe to our YouTube channel and all that stuff.
I don't have anything, but if you ever tried to follow me, I swear to God, you're gonna cease and desist in an hour and a half.
Well, that's the episode, and we'll see you next week.